the front of the Museum of Sex. This is the main part of their gift shop. And it is just basically sex toys. And what I love about this is a lot of people are intimidated to go into a more traditional sex shop where you often have to ask people to look at things, and it can be embarrassing if you're not comfortable with that. What I love about this is it is a museum. It is, like I've said, it is just, everyone's very open, and you can come in on your own and just browse, and no one's gonna bother you. This is a really, not only are the displays beautiful, because sex toys come in so many colors and designs now, but we've come so far. The sex toy market has just literally and figuratively exploded, and there is different types. So it's an opportunity for you to really see and feel, because the textures of sex toys, so this is like probably like a silicone, but you can't tell, but it's sort of soft and squishy. It's not this like plastic that when sex toys were starting out. And you can also, do they have it so I can turn it on? Yes. So you can also feel the type of vibration. You can really try out lots of different things. There's for women, there's for couples, I'm seeing anal kits, if that's something you're interested in trying. And again, if you see something you're not interested in, you just move on to find what you are. I just heard Chelsea tell someone this over here is the wand, the magic wand from Sex and the City. I did not realize, I've seen the little ones. Honestly, I didn't realize they made them this big. So fascinating. And then with so many, again, the theme at this museum is fun, is exploration, is checking things out. And I love, again, that you can see it here in person. These are a well-known vibrator necklace. So what we have here is something that looks stylish, but is actually a vibrator. Wait, clearly I haven't got myself one of these yet, but I've been thinking about it. So the whole necklace is vibrating. I think it's pretty simple. There's no patterns. It's just vibration. You press the button, turns on, hold it, it turns off. And probably a great conversation piece, but again, more fun. You get to try this out. You get to see it, you get to try it on, see if it's something you'd want to actually use. Lots of shapes. Like there's just always new. This one I've heard about. There's the lemon and there's also the rose. These are quite popular. This would be an air suction vibrator, as would this. The Womanizer was one of the early air suction vibrators. Pleasure Air Technology. This is not the only brand that uses this, but you can try what it feels like on your hand at least, and experiment. I just love Chelsea. She just said there's 20 different ways to orgasm here. I'm sure there's a lot more than 20, but that's a pretty great place to start. I am here with the beautiful, fabulous Chelsea, the manager at Museum for Sex. And she was just telling some customers who came in the most wonderful thing.
Hey, the more you orgasm, the longer you live. It's a fact.
So true, right? People don't realize, like, there's all these health benefits to sex and orgasm, and like, it doesn't always have to be with a partner. It could be by yourself. It doesn't always have to be a big event. It could be a quickie, but like, Orgasming keeps everything moving, fresh and juicy. It helps the immune system, everything. And look at all the different things you can use to enjoy and experiment and have fun. So like, we love your museum. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Oh my God, it's perfect. And I love your hourgasm. And so yes, that is the takeaway. The more you orgasm, the longer you live and the happier you live.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So we're going to explore all your toys. Yes. Thank you, Chelsea.
No problem.
There's a lot of things other than just sex toys in the museum. There's some great Our Guilty Pleasures cards to do with your partner. Wonderful. What's a non-sexual activity we do together that makes you feel closer to me? Awesome. You know, sometimes we forget, we get stuck in ruts, and we don't even have the script or the words to ask our partner. And so I think that card games like this can be super helpful. Bondage. Yes, no, maybe. Like, this is a way to really ask questions that maybe you hadn't even thought to ask, or maybe you've been deeply desiring to. I dominate you or you dominate me. 3, 2, 1, both reveal. So you both get that card. That's awesome. So I love this. Great, great, great gifts for your partner, for, you know, for a bachelorette, for an engagement party. Our Guilty Pleasure date night coupons. There's not an example of this to pull out, but I am sure we could find or guess what's on them. Choose from 30 pairs of this or that coupon. So you always get a choice. I love that. For sex positivity, it's not a definite, it has to be this. It's like you have a choice of this or that, because our personal preference is really important when we're having sex and choosing what we want or don't want to do. And sometimes our choices change in the moment, and that's really important to recognize. So I don't know what this is, the pull-out game, the date night game for, it's basically, okay, it's Jenga, but you have to answer questions while doing Jenga. Your partner must remove an item of clothing of your choice. Tell me, what's your favorite thing about my body? Fun. Fun. See, sex can be fun. You don't need the games to make it fun, but the games kind of make it more fun. So, okay, now we get to the books, and you can get an idea of all the things we have here. The sex position, playbook, breast. I was looking at one before we came in. This is very fun. The Little Big Book of Pussy, because, you know, there has been such issues, especially in the last decade, of women completely shaved. And, you know, there was a time when, a long time ago, when bushes and big bushes were all the rage. And what I've heard is we're kind of going back to the Bush era, not either of the presidents, thank God, but the Bush, the more important Bush. So that's kind of awesome to see. What I love about this era is that anything goes. So if you are someone who still likes to shave, great. But if you don't, that's awesome too. It's sort of all there. And you know, sometimes, you know, it's good to just look and see different people's parts, because if you're a heterosexual woman, you don't get to see that often. And if you're a man, you kind of also get to see, there are so many different kinds of vaginas out there. So I love that there is a whole book dedicated to that, as well as the Little Big Penis book, which doesn't mean big penises. It just means it's a big book of penises. There may be little penises too, although these look like big penises, so it might be a big penis book. I'm not sure. Well, it depends. Okay, yeah. pretty big. And as you know, if you want to hear my story about Mr. Big, okay, that's just insane. Is that real? We don't know. Fascinating. A little terrifying. Terrifying. But if you want to hear my story about who I affectionately call Mr. Big and why for me, you know, size isn't everything, take a look at my podcast. It's about fit. It's all about fit because I've learned a lot about this idea that you have to be larger to give women pleasure. It's just not true because we are all different sizes. So to me, that's awesome. If you love, that's terrifying to me, that book. But okay, if that's works for you, that's awesome. So we're inside the Museum of Sex. So exciting. We're gonna go back to the bar area and take a look. This is, speaking of date night, let's take a look at, these are all the couples who've been here. The wall of sex and love. And what's so great about this place is, you know, this is what we're always talking about with sex positivity, that sex should be fun, that we get so caught up sometimes in our heads in what it's supposed to be. And what I love about this museum is there's a sense of just kitsch and fun, and really like that's what it's supposed to be about. So I think sometimes we forget that, and it's good to come into like a place with, you know, swirly lights and lots of mirror balls to remind yourself that like ultimately sex is fun. It's just sex. Like, it's fun. This is great. Here's an opportunity to test out your flexibility. I'm not even going to attempt any of these with some of the Kama Sutra positions. So go for it. Oh, that's what this is. You need to sort of back up to see what we're dealing with here. If you're in New York, if you're downtown near 26th and 5th, this is a wonderful place. Take yourself out for a little shopping trip. Go with your partner, go with some friends. It's just, there's so much to explore, and there's so much that you can just really change your attitude about sex.